So we did our English project on Winston Churchill.
And that's David Westerville, and I'm Henry Allen. And here we go. So here's a quick overview of Winston Churchill in case any of you don't know him, which a lot of you probably don't.
So Winston Churchill was born in January 1874.
And he was born in the UK, but he was half American, so he was ridiculed slightly for that.
He was born into a very rich family and attended private school.
Yes, but sadly, as he would later come to regret, and this is his first mistake, as a young lad, he didn't really participate in school as much, and he was somewhat careless and inattentive to detail, which was later gone when he went to military school. You know, he wanted to do that. He wanted to be in the Army or in the Navy.
He wanted to change his mistakes and turn it into a success.
Yes. And then he also became a journalist for the war as well, which he would later go on to win a Nobel Peace Prize for his writing. So here's him in his older age. He married Clementine Oisier, and that's him when he was Prime Minister of Britain. And towards his older age, he was really, really inclined to peace, which is about around the time when he won the Nobel Peace Prize.
So, like we already explained, his first mistake was when he was a younger child. He didn't pay attention in school. It took him 3 times to pass his exam to finish his high school. So he didn't pay attention, and he didn't really do anything very good in school.
Which might later come back to haunt him, as you'll see in the next few slides. So this is 1911, the start of World War I. This is the beginning of his largest mistake in his entire career.
Yeah. At the time, Winston Churchill was the First Lord Admiralty of the Navy of Britain.
Yep, Admiral of the Navy. So here is the staging of Winston Churchill's biggest mistake.
So in 1914, Winston Churchill was worried that the Turkish troops were going to invade southern Russia, so he decided to send his fleet into the Dardanelles Strait, which is this right here. So when he first sent his men there, his first mistake was he basically sent his troops into a minefield, which is this thing right here, which basically destroyed most of his ships. He tried again in 1915, and this time he sent more men, and over the course of 6 months, he lost 214,000 men. So, due to this loss, he lost his admiralty from the losses of hwas troops.
So this can be regarded as his biggest mistake in his entire career, military-wise, and his life. This was the result of the minefields for most of his ships. It was not a good habit. Now we're going to do a massive time skip, and this is the beginning of, well, not the beginning, but this is World War II during the Battle of Britain when Nazi Germany was bombing the heck out of it. Yeah. And this was the stage of possibly Winston Churchill's biggest success, was that Britain wasn't completely destroyed when Nazi Germany attacked.
At the time, he was the Prime Minister of Britain, and he basically guided Britain to safety through all the Nazi attacks and protected them when the Nazis tried to cross the English Channel.
And the major thing he learned from this is that you can always trust in your enemy's ignorance, because the main reason why he was able to live and Britain was able to survive was that Hermann Göring, one of Hitler's top men, was somewhat ignorant when it came to radars and such. He didn't see the purpose for radar, so he didn't attack any British radar bases. And without that radar, the entire British Air Force would have been destroyed within 24 hours of the beginning of the Battle of Britain, which it didn't, because they had their radar.
Another success in 1953, Winston Churchill won the Nobel Prize for his literature and writings. When he became a journalist, he basically wrote about everything that happened when he was a soldier, all the way to his admiralty.
So he won the Nobel Peace Prize in writing, and that's around the time when he was really, really into peace. You know, he realized from his many war mistakes and his many war successes that battle really just killed people and it didn't help anybody in the end.
And he is the only prime minister to ever win a Nobel Peace Prize.
We're excited.
This is our excited.
Okay, and that's the end of the presentation.